It's Carrie here, making your first online Let's Get Ready to Go to London video. It's very exciting. I really hope this works. Okay, so EF actually sent me this PowerPoint today, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. This is fantastic. That's just what Megan and I think everybody else was needing in terms of just like preparing for our big day. Okay, so today we're going to cover travel documents, coverage, pre-departure research, packing, flights, arrival, our tour director, the hotels, rooming, meals, tipping, spending money, safety, group travel tips, and emergency info. This is like covering all of our basics today. And next Sunday, what I'll probably do is I'll like what other things you can do in London or Paris, or like some, travel tips from Carrie that she suggests for all of you, kind of as we move forward. But today, I think it'll just be about just kind of a basic overview. And EF sent me this, and I think it's great. They've been awesome. Okay, so passports and visas. You should all be good. Everyone has sent me a copy of their passport, which I have a digital copy of, which I love. So no matter what, we are even digitally covered over there. So everyone's got one. Everything should match. Your passport needs to match everything on your EF account, because that's how they booked your flight. And if it doesn't match when we get to the airport, we're screwed. I'm pretty sure everybody double checked it, but if you haven't, please do that immediately. I always carry my passport with me anywhere I go in London. That's also because Carrie loses things like so easily. I keep it around my neck. If you're like, oh, I don't really want to do that, I also suggest just kind of keeping it in the room, someplace where you know where it is, and keeping a copy of it with you at all times. We're going to London, so it's not a big deal. Anytime you travel, if Eastern Europe or Asia or Africa, usually you want to keep those things on you at all times. But if anyone has any questions about their passports or anything at all, let me know, okay? So this is your global travel protection plan. Some of you wanted to know exactly what that covered. This is what I've sent on to our school, and all of you have done this. All of you have paid for this. I required it. I was like, don't even have them sign up unless they can pay for this, because this was one of the reasons I wanted to go through EF and we didn't just like plan our own trip. Was because they knew how to take care of this kind of stuff. But you guys, we are covered for illness and any kind of accident. Matt even told me a story about a girl they had to like overnight in a helicopter back to the States, and their protection plan covered it. Like, holy shenanigans. We're great. If any of you have traveled before and lost baggage, it's like the biggest pain in the butt, and this covers you on that if anything is permanently lost or whatever. Program cancellation, interruption, or flight delay. So what that means is, for any of you, again, who've traveled, Atlanta is not as bad, but I swear to God, you guys, anytime I fly out of Dallas, my flight gets delayed or it gets canceled or some kind of shenanigans comes up, this protection plan covers any of that. So if something like that were to happen at the airports, we actually don't have to go through EF. You can go directly through the airline. So this isn't as big of a deal for us going there because I'm going to be with everybody. Coming back, though, everyone has a different flight coming back, right? So as you're coming back, Group 1, let's say, which I think is like Shauna, Dom, and Dylan. You guys are going to be the first to leave, and I'll drop you guys off at the airport. But let's say your flight gets delayed or it gets canceled. I mean, obviously, call me. I'm going to help you guys out. But another way is to just be like, oh, we got this, Carrie. We talked to the flight attendant, and they've rescheduled us for this Delta flight or that Delta flight or whatever. So we can work directly with the airlines. We don't have to go through EF. That's what this protection plan does. For anybody who has questions about that, let me know. But again, since so many of you are leaving at different times, you can always call me. I'm more than happy to help. But just so you know, you can also just work directly with that airline, and they can get you on a rescheduled flight or tell you when your flight got delayed to, etc., etc. If you're scared about that because it's like your first time flying, I promise you it's going to be cake. All right, next. Bruno's bugging me. Bruno, just lay down, puppy. Pre-departure research. Okay, so this isn't too bad for London again, but some kind of things you just want to look into. Cultural norms and customs. I talked to you guys a little bit about like the drinking age is obviously lower. How people hit on you is a little bit different. I'd say it's similar to New York, that people are like very blunt. You don't need to know if you key phrases in the local language because we all speak English. Oh my God. Free time activities, sites, attractions, food, all that stuff that you're interested in doing, you're going to want to do a little bit of research on. I know Becca's been doing a lot of research on Stonehenge, and I know the group we'll be traveling with really wants to go to Stonehenge on their day off. So day off, we're not going to do anything as a group. I figured that was a good day for y'all to do what you individually want to do. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, so I want you guys to be able to do that. Great. Let me go back really fast. Oh, weather forecast. It will probably rain because it's London. I'll talk about that in a minute for sure. Great, packing. Okay, so do you guys see this lovely little EF backpack in the top left, not even corner? Everybody has one of those in my office. So if you haven't got pictures up yet, please come pick it up. You can totally use that as your carry-on. I think it's like the perfect size carry-on, which is probably why they give it to you. I like this picture because it shows the essentials of what you're going to want to bring with you, okay? So I'm going to literally start in this like left-hand corner or whatever. So like a travel book, it says Boston up in that left-hand corner. The first time I went to London, I bought the Lonely Planet one. Is fantastic. It just kind of gives you more information about where you're going. They're like 20 bucks on Amazon if you want them. They're fantastic. Headphones are great, especially because we are going to be on planes, in buses, on trains. Bring music, bring things to read, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Sunglasses, maps. I just use the GPS on my phone. What's great is even if your phone is on airplane mode, the GPS always works. It always works. So you can still use it to kind of navigate where you're going. You'll see an umbrella right there too. And I bring an umbrella, just a small one that can like fit in my bag. I also bring a rain jacket because we are going to London and it will rain. And you don't want like a heavy rain jacket. You want something really light like a poncho. So just kind of keep that in mind. You want it to be as light as possible because it will still be hot. It'll just be rainy. Sorry about the puppies. Just like ignore them if you can hear them in the background. If you see this kind of pillow thing up here, this is the only way I can sleep on a plane. You can get them at Walmart. You can get them at the airport. The one I have is inflatable, so it doesn't take up any space, which is nice. But anyway, those are really nice. Charlie, Bruno, calm down. Charlie, Bruno, shh. Let me pause this video. Maybe I don't know how to pause the video. Never mind. Okay. I love that they have snacks here. You can kind of see these bars here and this here. If for any reason we're like London, you're going to be fine. But sometimes plane has really shitty food, like shitty food. And you're going to want something you like to eat. There's also times like if you know that like you need to eat every couple hours, please pack a bar so we're not having to stop every 3 seconds so you can pick something up. Yeah. Just like, yeah. Anyway, I like these. Books here, like Eat, Pray. I love that these are the books they picked, Eat, Pray, Love, and Make the Most of It. Like inspirational books. You can bring fictional books, but I really think traveling is a great time for like self-reflection. So journaling and just packing books that inspire you is really great. There's a journal here, energy, drinks, sunscreen. I wouldn't worry so much about that in London. A camera, obviously. Just bring your phones. Like who has a camera anymore? And obviously your passport. Okay, so some other things to remember. Pack light. And I know it's like, but Carrie, we're allowed to have a checked bag. And I know you're allowed to have a checked bag. Do everything in your power not to bring a checked bag. It is going to weigh you down like you would not believe. We land at like 7 a.m. and I think it's like 2 hours before our other group even comes in. And so you know what I would love to do? I'd love to take our fetching bags and walk around the airport, get into downtown before we can even go to our hotel and walk around. And it's going to be so hard to do that if y'all have a million bags on you. I swear to God, it is so much easier if you pack light. What does that mean? Pack like you would going to girls camp. Do you know what I mean? Where you had a jacket, 3 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, and a dress. You don't need more than that. You're going to wear everything twice and then go home. It's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? For those of you staying longer, laundromats are everywhere. They're super cheap. You drop them off. They wash them for you. $10 later, you get them back. Do you know what I mean? It's the way to go. Charlie, leave your brother alone. Charlie, thank you. Wow. And EF does not cover any baggage fees charged by airlines. And what they mean by that is your bags can only be a certain weight. Delta's, well, we're flying on Delta, and they're not going to give a crud. Delta's great. But for future, if you guys ever fly like Spirit or Frontier, oh my gosh, they're like little jackasses about everything. Oh my gosh, Charlie, leave your brother alone. Um, Anyway, carry any valuables or medications in your day pack or carry on. I completely agree with that. And I like this. A full packing list can be found right there if you guys want to look. But again, less is more. If you can remember that, like anything you can buy here, you can buy there. Do you really need it? No, you don't really need it. Please don't bring your stage management kit, Cheyenne, stuff like that. Okay, flights. Good. Your seats will be assigned at check-in, which is great. Your frequent flyer miles cannot be redeemed and tickets are not eligible for upgrades. That's fine. We don't care. In-flight meal requests. If you have like any specific meal request, make sure we'll contact the airline 72 hours before departure. So if anybody has anything specific, they do offer like vegetarian meals and stuff like that. That being said, anything really specific, I would just eat before we go. The flight's so short and we have a layover, I want to say in DC. Let's just eat at DC and then we'll sleep. I was going to say too, if anyone wants to bring like NyQuil or whatever to sleep on the flight, I'm a big fan of stuff like that. Anyway, great. Next, arrival day. Okay, so oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so the tour director is going to meet us at the airport, which is so awesome. I've been through customs a million times. I know how to get through all of that. You're not going to claim anything. We'll talk about this probably on the plane, but it takes no time at all. When you go through customs, you're going to give them your passport. They're going to ask you like, "What are you doing here?" And you're going to say, "I'm here to study abroad for 2 weeks," and they're going to be like, "Awesome sauce, welcome." They're going to stamp your passport, and you're going to walk through it. It's going to be great. But you'll hit the ground running, and we won't check into the hotel until the end of the day. That's what I mean by like, guys, don't bring a ton of extra bags. Like, good God. And something I have done is for those of you who are like, I'm not gonna have room for souvenirs, then buy a bag once you get to London and fill it up with souvenirs. Do you know what I mean? And then you're just bringing a bag on the way back and not the way there. It's way, way, way easier. Good. So it's real. This is so important, and we have talked about this already. We have got to stay awake on our arrival day. There's plenty of coffee around. Diet Coke tastes very strange in London. So I always drink Coke Zero when I'm overseas because something's up with that Diet Coke. It just doesn't taste right. But there's caffeine everywhere, tea, lots of tea, and just like live it up. But if you can sleep as much as possible on that plane, you will stay awake that first day, I promise. So really try to sleep on that plane. Great, because we got to stay up that first day. Okay, so the tour director. This is where I think we're really lucky, guys. I've actually never been to London with a tour director. And so every time I've gone, it's kind of been me just trying to figure it out by myself. So you've kind of got two. You've got me and the tour director. They provide key cultural and historical insight about the places we're visiting. They manage, the itinerary and logistics, keep the group safe, and handle potential challenges or emergencies. They're a local. This is going to be so cool. I think we should just like buzz them with all the questions in the world. And they accompany us to basically all the EF planned activities. They offer suggestions for things to do on your free time. So for those of you freaking out about like what to do on my day off, we're going to have a local. We're going to be best. And apparently like they were talking to us about it. They're like, you become best friends with like your local tour guide. So it sounds like just super fetching cool. I'm excited. We are traveling with another school, which I think is really cool. They asked me about that early on. They were like, do you want to pay an extra fee to travel on your own, or is it cool if we pair you with another school since you have a small group? And I'm like, I think my students would love to meet another group. So what's really nice about this other group, guys, is it's only 6 other students and a bunch of adults actually that are, Charlie, don't eat that. Charlie, drop it. Oh my God, my children. Charlie, thank you. Oh, that's Bruno. Bruno, don't eat that. He's eating a Hot Pocket. Guys, oh my God, my children. Okay, hotels, yay! So things to remember about hotels in London. They're not like hotels in the States. They're going to be about half the size. They don't usually come with amenities, right? So don't think of hotels like we think of them in the States, okay? They're not as nice. And a little more bare bones. Wi-Fi is provided. Sometimes you can't get it in your room though. Usually you'll have to, so they're talking about other places, but sometimes you'll have to go to the lobby for Wi-Fi. It's totally fine. They will have air conditioning, and it is very true that they often do not have elevators. I would say most in London don't have elevators. I think the thing about London, oh, I forgot to talk about this. Let me go back to packing really fast. There's something really important. This, walking shoes. Everyone needs to bring a very, very good pair of walking shoes to London. In fact, it's the only pair of shoes you should bring. That and maybe some flip-flops, honestly, because Europe in general is a heck of a lot healthier than the States. We walk everywhere. They don't have elevators. Everybody takes the stairs. And so you bring that giant suitcase, you're going to be yanking it up the stairs. Yeah. So just keep that in mind, okay? Great. So we're going to talk about this rooming. So all of you are in this. You're in a quad room. Nobody opted out for these rooms. So what's going to happen is they said we can just like pick who goes in what room when we get there. So again, if you guys have any preferences of who you want to room with, just like let me know. Most of you are on a triple quad. I think Cheyenne and Dylan, because it is like gendered because it's 2018. I don't know why. It has to be boys and girls. So you guys will actually probably be rooming with the other school, which I think is super cool. And then I think I'm actually rooming with the teacher from the other school. Super cool. Anyway, so anybody interested in rooming together, let me know. Should be fun. You guys are on rooms like this, okay? And if you don't care, then don't worry about it. Awesome. Meals. So food in London sucks. Oh my gosh, it's so healthy. It's stupid healthy. Oh my gosh, it's annoying. But I do know they're paying for like an Indian restaurant one night, which I'm so excited about, and a few other things. Breakfast at each hotel will be provided, which is great. Again, it's going to be simple: cereal, bread, juice, coffee. I'm not a big breakfast eater. If you are, you may want to get something a little extra, but it's going to be pretty simple. Lunch is usually going to be on your own. I always eat at Pret a Manger when I'm in London. It's healthy, it's cheap, it's on the go, it's not very expensive, they're everywhere. But I will say that, like, when in London, you're going to want to eat as much foreign food as possible. So if you see an Italian restaurant, eat there. If you see a French restaurant, eat there. Because London, they're just not really known other than pasties, and who likes those? They're nasty. Dinners are a lot of the time included. Which is great. So it should be fun. Food portions are a lot smaller in London. You guys should know that from the get-go. Again, it's much, much healthier. Things usually come in like these small containers, and you just kind of take them to go. Soda's not as easily accessible, and it costs like twice, sometimes three times more than it does here in the States. I would say like a Diet Coke in London is $3 or something like that, £3. It's kind of crazy that way. So Carrie and her Diet Coke addiction, it's an interesting thing to observe. If you have any crazy allergies or dietary restrictions, just kind of let me know. I can help keep an eye out for you, but London is very healthy. Like, you have no problem finding vegan, nothing has preservatives in it, that kind of thing. Tipping, yay! Okay, so I actually have an idea for this. So we're supposed to tip our tour director like $6 to $8 per day. So since all of you worked at Cast Kids, you each earned $40. I was thinking of keeping that and just paying they said it's very common to just pay the tour director in like one giant envelope at the end of the trip. I was thinking of just paying her that, and then if everybody wants to throw me another $20, that would be like $60 per person, right? We can just give that to her at the end of the trip. I would love to do that. I don't know if you guys are cool with that. I'd love to do that. And in terms of like, sometimes if you use local guides or a bus driver, it's very common to just like give them a pound or two. Okay, I should have used pound signs instead of dollar signs here. It's fine to pay our tour director in US dollars. They don't give a fuck. But local guides and bus drivers, they're going to want to get paid in pounds. So as we like leave the bus, or if we have a local guide and they did something cool, just give them like a pound. So even for those of you who have a credit card and are primarily playing with a credit card, let's make sure to have at least like 100 pounds of cash on us, just in case, just for tipping purposes and little things like that, yeah? To make sure we always have that kind of change. And it's perfectly fine if someone wants to be like, hey, I'm tipping the whole group, here's 10 pounds or whatever, that's perfectly fine. But just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Good, spending money. So I love this. So for those of you who are like tight on budget, they suggest having like $40 a day, $40 to $60 a day to cover all the extra stuff. I think that's like very accurate, because you're going to want to do things, you're going to want to buy stuff. And that really just means, I mean, in terms of 10 days, that's like $400, that you need. extra in order to spend, and that's on the lower end of the budget. And I think that's really a good thing. I told you guys like $1,000, like $1,000 in spending money, and that's clearly me just over. I buy everything apparently, and I'm thinking plays because I tend to spend about $500 on plays because I see like a million of them. What are you eating, Bruniferous? Oh my gosh, don't eat that, Bubby. Oh my gosh, Bruno. Children, you cannot eat that, Bruno. That's gonna come out later. That's gross. Okay, spending money, but just kind of like try to budget for that. $1,000, you're gonna be absolutely safe. Sounds like $400 people are safe. It's totally up to you. It depends on how much you want to do. Safety. London is very safe, guys. It's so fetching safe. It's probably safer than Jacksonville, Alabama. It's really great. Um, they give you some suggestions here, like bring a day bag that zips shut to avoid pickpocketing. Pickpocketing is like the worst thing in the world. What you want to do is just make sure your wallet's always buried in your bag and not like on the surface. Something I learned the hard way: don't keep your phone in your back pocket, or in any kind of backpack zipperish thing. You got to keep your phone buried as well, or like, gosh, it got taken out of my hand. So when I was in Italy, that was in Italy, but like that was the craziest shit. I like this. Use the buddy system during free time. Try not to go anywhere alone, or if you do, like gosh, that's not even true. I like going places alone. If you can avoid going alone, avoid it. But if you're going alone, just like let me know where you're going. It's London. Y'all, you're going to be fine. We're going to establish meeting spots for every group and meeting and times, and make sure to really stick to those times, okay? I liked this. Listen to your gut. Walk away from situations that feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, walk away. I think that's perfectly fine. For many of you, it's your first time overseas. People can smell out a student from a mile away. You're young, you're vulnerable. Be cool. Look like one of the locals, and they'll think you're one of the locals. Yeah, they'll be fine. Group travel. Okay, so here's the thing about traveling as a group, and this is why sometimes I prefer traveling alone, because I can go where I want, when I want, blah, 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 blah. And it is unique, and it's also wonderful traveling as a group because you have lots of people to see things with, and it can be really fun. Some things can be really shitty. Like, if you're late, I will murder you. Guys, do not be that person who is late. We all spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting this together, and every day is another second and minute to be in London, and I don't want to wait for you. So set your alarm, get your ass out of bed, whatever it is. Make sure you are on time. Okay, don't be that person. And I will have that talk with you if it happens once, or even twice. If it happens twice, I will have that talk with you. Okay, so please don't be that person. Be flexible. Okay. That is like something so frustrating. Something that frustrates me about traveling is that like you'll plan everything to a T, and then something will happen where something is closed on a day you weren't expecting it to be, or something costs more than you weren't expecting it to be, or you missed a train, or you got somewhere late, or whatever. So just try to be flexible and try not to let things escalate. I know it's hard because you've put so much time and energy and money into this, but like the more you can just like be in the moment, the better. Be patient. Keep in mind that we are traveling with like another school or another our tour guide or whatever, and there's going to be different perspectives and stuff like that. So just kind of be patient. I love this. There is a world of support. We're still EF has been fantastic with all of you. I hope you've enjoyed working with them. I've enjoyed working with them. I really hope to work with them again on another trip. If you guys are interested in doing another study abroad next year, I say heck, let's do it. Let's go to Greece or Italy. Heck, if you guys are interested, let me know, because I would love to set up another one. These guys have been amazing. Okay, any questions? Look, there's Stonehenge for you, Rebecca. Ha! I hope I covered everything that's kind of been like weighing on your guys' thoughts. Next week, I think I'll cover like some of the cool places to like go to London in your free time, and just like Carrie, maybe even a slideshow of like some of the places I've seen in London as Carrie. And I've been 3 times now. I fetching love London. It's still my favorite city in the world, you guys, and I've been everywhere except for Africa. It's the only continent I've never been to. But I've been to the Middle East, I've been to Asia, I've been to Australia, all over the US, South America. I mean, holy shit, London is as good as it gets. So you guys are in for a real treat. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed that lovely thing.